Film is out. And out is timeless.
One Night in Tangiers. I mean, what can I say about that?
It's a film that defies interpretation.
One word to describe it?
What can I say about it? It was a nightmare.
Confusing.
Existential.
Vicodin. Lots of it.
Out.
So I was in the studio one day and I received the script. It looked pretty promising. It was kind of a throwback from the 1940s film Casablanca, you know, that sort of thing. It was by a very young and very talented young writer, and everything looked great. But more towards the end, he said that he wanted his name disavowed from the project. Well, his exact words to me were, "Don't give me credit for this."
It is a world. The size, the sounds, the smells, the layers. I wanted to capture that. That's what drew me to this film.
So the question came up, who should direct the thing? So out of the many names that we had, Pierre Jardin was chosen to direct it. He was a up-and-coming guy. He was very, very internationally praised for his visual style. Not really well known in the US. And when we gave him the project, he seemed pretty enthusiastic about it.
I wanted to immerse the viewer to all this down, all of this world I would create.
So as with many auteurs, he had a couple interesting ideas. We said, fine, just go ahead and work it out and we'll see what we come up with. We were kind of interested to see what he would bring to us. Firstly, he wanted to shoot the movie in black and white, you know, which is fine. But then it went all downhill from there.
Well, you know, when Pierre approached me to play the character of Sam, you know, I really felt this partnership with him because, you know, he really knew what I wanted to bring to this character.
Marvelous choice. It was perfect for the role.
Pierre had his heart set on Dane Reynolds as the lead for the role. Now, don't get me wrong, Dane's a fine actor, but let's just say he's one of those guys that gets by on his looks rather than his talent. And it's been a couple of years since his last film.
For me, I personally had stopped working because, you know, I was just sick of the same old roles over and over again. I mean, why does the hero have to be beautiful, you know? What everyone expects. You know, I wanted my character to have the touch of the common man, you know, to be the everyday Joe.
Dane refused to get in shape for the role, which is more or less a Humphrey Bogart, Cary Grant kind of guy.
For me, I just wanted the average guy, you know, to see themselves in me, someone they could understand, someone that was real to them, so that, you know, when I get with the girl at the end of the film, they can see themselves in her as well.
I think it was a more realistic approach to the film.
So we got an actor with all looks and no talent, and now the looks are gone. Thank God we got Ilsa Shepard to play Marlene.
When I was first approached about the role of Marlene, I was a bit skeptical. It took a little convincing, but when Pierre explained to me what he wanted to do and the direction that he wanted to go in, I really just saw the opportunity to take what seemed essentially like a two-dimensional character and give her some life.
So we had the stars ready. We had one that we can count on, and we had one that we were praying for. But we were just hoping that Pierre knew exactly what he was doing.
So yeah, the first day of production came around, and I don't know about anyone else, but I still hadn't seen a script, you know, which was a bit unusual from other stuff that I worked with. I mean, I did want to mold this character myself, but I expected something.
Inspiration cannot be written. Magic does not happen twice. It must be captured on film as it happened.
We started filming without a script. I mean, I was just going by what Pierre had told me during casting. So, you know, I get to the set You know, I'm in wardrobe, the cameras are rolling, and no one knows what to do.
His style, man, it was unreal, and it was a rush.
When the actors, they inhabit the characters, I find they did not need direction.
He just said, inhabit the character. But I didn't know which character I was supposed to inhabit.
All I knew was going onto the set that I was slated to be the star. I was used to that. I was used to that kind of treatment. But then I get onto the set, and wardrobe hands me this Nazi uniform, which, again, was a bit confusing.
Places. Action. Inhabit!
The hell does that mean? So I assumed that the movie was in World War II, and I knew that I was a good guy, but I'm wearing this Nazi uniform, which clearly means that I'm a bad guy. So how to resolve this?
So when I saw the rushes, Dane was playing something like James Bond, and he wasn't supposed to be a spy.
We'll have to leave before they find us. Fortunately, I have a contact.
I chose the Sean Connery accent because, personally, for me, it's Thunderball or nothing.
So there were a couple parts in the film that got cut, where at random times, Dane would take his watch, put it up to his ear like it was some sort of radio transmitter or something like that.
That was my contact. He said we have to spend the night in Tangiers.
That was the title. It can't be the title if it doesn't have anything to do with the film.
The film wasn't even supposed to take place in Tangiers. The title was a representation that these two characters can get away from the war and lead seemingly normal lives together. It was an unattainable goal.
So we'd been filming for a couple of weeks, and I still wasn't sure what we were doing. But I decided to make the most of it.
So we realized very early on that Pierre was improvising, and he hadn't even gone over the budget yet. But the studio thought, well, as long as he keeps bringing the shots in, we'll just let him play, with my money. And Dane, that idiot, was playing hero in his own little world. The only thing in the film that was promising was Ilsa.
To me, Marlene was a woman lost in her own world. And as the war progressed, she just lost touch with what kept her grounded, and you know, she had to do things to survive. So much death. What can two people do when hate fills the world? Where does it end? I was pouring my confusion into the character.
She was like a cherry blossom falling at the height of her beauty.
So Pierre kept filming. It was a pretty interesting detour. Then it got really bizarre.